Celestial Husk, even though we're live here in Atlanta. Domination, and we start with what we would expect. A little bit of a Mantis and Jeff ban. Mantis going first there, down at the bottom, which usually happens with that save to follow if Jeff is banned first there, Vic.
I gotta ask you, Cozy, how is it that every single time you and I are on the mic together, Celestial Husk just sticks with us
Every single time.
Everywhere we go, man. It's like Symbiotic Surface is always just trailing right behind us. But not only do we see the Mantis protect, you could also only imagine with the changes that 4.5 bring, Venom, Mantis look pretty strong together as they go in for the protect on the Emma Frost. Still a very strong Vanguard that we've seen consistently.
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect ChopperMag to ban the Loki. We've been seeing that more and more if the Mantis is going to be protected. At least get rid of that damage boost. Can't have both of it here. But the next ban going on for them is the Jeff. They're going to match the Shark versus the Shark. Vicky, we're not going to get any John Williams music today, at least here in the Domination. But next ban up, this is where I do expect most likely the Loki. Potentially, they could save that for the last ban if you are ChopperMag.
I also like the fact that it's the Bucky and the Loki, like you were talking about. You already talk about it. But we're also seeing way more protects recently on the Buckies, as well as the bans on the Buckies. And I mean, if anything showcased why that is, just look at day number 1 and the amount of resets that we had. A crazy Hexa, by the way, on the screen. And I believe it was actually at the hands of VP. Yes, Sparker specifically. No surprise there, considering what a talented player he is. But they do protect the Adam Warlock on the side of Chopper. So you already know what they want to run out with here.
Yeah, and Pethic does play a lot of Winter Soldier. Funny enough, locking it right there. So that's a good way just to slow down that momentum hero.
Is this a bait? Because if they protect the Adam Warlock, you're thinking you want to ban the Loki. You don't want the double res.
Yep.
Okay.
So I do like the double Loki ban. It's not going to get any trickery here at Celestial Husk as we have the next save, last save going on for VP. And looking at the options they can roll with here, I mean, honestly, this team is so flexible across the board, no matter what they want to play. So we'll see what Nivix and co want to go with. The Venom save, do like that. You know, either that or Cap is what we've been seeing a lot here. But on Celestial Husk especially, so much. It's the hometown advantage, home court advantage there for Venom. Eddie Brock able to go up on plenty of good high ground. Dive down below, Vic.
Maybe even a seasonal advantage, too. You know what? We're a few days away from Halloween. You got to get into the spooky season, and nothing scares me more than a very good Venom diving my backline and trying to run away. That is damage boost, by the way, and it has anti-heals, by the way. You can tell I've been having a ball with in Season 4.5. But this was kind of what we're expecting, at least on the plus side. Chopper had banned the Jeff because we've been seeing Dredro get away with the most insane Jeff eats on specifically a lot of these Doctor Strange shenanigans, but it also takes away the symbiotic shenanigans that would be coupled together with the Jeff and the Venom.
Absolutely, a little bit of a tip of the cap there to Sparker. Used to be known as the best Psylocke in all of Rivals, and now this is definitely the old Psylocke patch as well. So we're seeing tons of that. You know, when we look at the duelist position, you've got the Winter Soldier, you have the Psylocke, and then you can kind of flex in the Daredevil if you so choose with it. But for me, it's just so great, Vicky, to see VP here at the LAN. You know, this is one of those teams. It's funny, we're seeing Crazy Raccoon, VP, now FlyQuest, kind of all the top teams in the region, the favorites at the midseason that didn't make it to LAN, now coming here, showing what they have to prove. And, you know, you got the nerves away already if you're VP. You got yourself a couple of wins. You're feeling confident now, and I got to talk to the team. They're definitely excited here as we find ourselves for a great one, folks. Buckle up. Here we go. It's Domination, Vicky, as we get things counting down.
I'm excited, Cozy. Let's get this started. Day 2 already looking fantastic for our Group A. And you talk about the Daredevil, Mr. Lawyer himself coming out to play with Nivix, having such a good performance on the Venom. No surprise there. And Sparker rolling out on that Star-Lord.
Yeah, I love to see a little Lawyer action right here. I'm sure Charlie Cox is just beaming with excitement as we are going to be heading into the point. This is typically a long point to take, Vicky, as the team's clashing out early. A little bit of separation here at Finzi, trying to find a little bit of an off angle. These caps have just been brutal on the back lines of Strategist now throwing in, jumping in, and trying to get this Emma out early. That could be a big play, but no, it's going to be Mother with the quick diamond kick into the pillar. Goodbye. Nice kick there from Duet.
At least, though, they have the BRB from Saipe, who is on that rocket, so it brings Finzi right back around. It looks like a Zen's. Another great Venom, too, that we've been able to see on full display. I really like to be able to see him and the Groot, too, but trying to showcase that flexibility. While Bobo, another highlight for us. We saw him originally on the Adam Warlock. We don't see that out in play here, but it's them now being able to now rotate over to the other side. Focused on him by a great freeze and follow-up from Pethic.
Yeah, getting close to that assassin waltz, the dance of the butterflies, 85%, and climbing. Bobo is such a great player from Nova, was a superstar there in China as we see the Galactic Legend from the legend himself and Sparker getting one. Finzi with the 1-2 behind, and right now it's looking like VP's point to claim first. You know, they often kind of start a little slow. Nice little stall here, though, from the Venom, keeping things a little spicy. Point not cap Jet, and what an early portal coming in from ChopperMag.
An amazing communication from VP because Sparker and Finzi did all of that while Drijo had gone down without being able to utilize the Mantis ultimate, while Bobo now comes in with the Dance of the Butterfly. Fidel had already used up the Fate of both worlds. You see Drijo now come right back around with that Mantis ult to keep everybody back into place, while Fai is going to be able to also use a Daredevil ultimate, by the way, let the devil out, as Finzi also has a survivability, and with Peptic kind of left alone over onto the other side of the console of Celestial Husk, you still find your pick, but you lost out on your controller strategist. Skittles making Fidel to add on to that whole demise, and now currently VP have the number advantage, and by the way, the point has yet to flip once.
The Vicky and Cozy Classic. The screen is melting already. We're like on our second run through some of these ults. Absolute chaos here. We find ourselves in Atlanta, Georgia. Cap is finally going to happen, going to VP, but nice effort there from ChopperMag, trying to delay things a little, looking at ult economy here, Vic. You know, you do have Skittles getting close to the damage amplifier and getting what they need to have rolling for the team. Outside of that, though, it's going to be a bit of the neutral fight, the old-fashioned hero way, as we're 15% and climbing for VP.
And to work hard for that one, though, here, as we take a look at what Chopper's going to be able to roll out with, and it's really Skittles and that Sia, while Finzi continues to be a menace and splitting a lot of that attention up because this is also wasting time away from Bobo, who wants to also harass the backline themselves. Petfig at least gets a follow-up and is able to find Sparker, but they have the BRB. Saipe, such a good strategist, constantly allowing these pieces to still be available in the fight as Bobo takes out Drijo, though, and with no BRB, they won't have that Mantis ultimate. So Drijo keeps going down at around like 96%.
Absolutely. Finzi with a great peel there, keeping Sebe alive. And when you look at what they're trying to roll with Sparker, they're getting rid of that team captain first. A lot of times opening up a lot of plays for them. Fidel here, the sub for the team, coming in and proving that he has what it takes to sub right into now this three-region team of ChopperMag. Now we do have Undefeatable coming up, and with that going to be the pressure from atop. Great response to the legendary Bobo with the quick slash and dash, and down goes the rocket into hello. Wow.
The anti-heal out the middle of the Soul Resurgence just shuts down what they wanted to go for. Now VP, well, together with the fact that they don't have the numbers on the board, and then you have the Galactic Legend from Pethic, it's just clean up on aisle 3 for the rest of Chopper, and they finally are able to flip the point with only 74% of extra credit for VP.
All vibes and violence today. It's crazy how fast this point goes up, Vic. 74%. It felt like a quick flip of the point, but no, they're already up there and climbing. And for the setup of what they want to do to try to hold on, try to make this thing more competitive, you look at what they do have available, and again, not a lot of options here, so they're going to have to see if they can maybe get an early pick. Bobo's going to be on extra duty, but finding himself low, already eliminated. Goodbye, Assassin. Bobo's going to be visiting the quick respawn room as the Devil's let out. Okay, Fai's looking for something to roll. As we know, this hero can snowball into absolute oblivion and quite literally let hell out, but it's a quick choke. But oh, good escape here from V. Gonna look for more and does find the 1-2.
No, Mom, you can't ground me. I'm gonna go out wherever I want. No Emma Frost choke slam here as Fi is looking to farm on the Daredevil. Such a cool character. When you hear let the devil out, all right, that's your domain, man. I'm gonna just exit out of here. Not much to do with all that space controlled as Drijo finds Skittles last.
V5 Fofom being the giant that he is for this team right now, as Sparker does have that legendary once again. Finzi's going to be looking to get more trouble on the back line and just cause their strategists eyes to turn away, and that just slows down the entire team. And right away, we've got now Fi getting yet another huge pick, and this is just a struggle fest for the strategists of ChopperMag at the moment. 97, 98 Vicky, 99, and that's going to be the first point for VP with relative ease.
All you see in that slow screen animation is Zen's just trying to dive on the Venom, trying to force it into overtime, and then just the body of the Venom just drop into the floor. But a great fight from both of these teams already thus far. But then you take a look at what economy is up here going into this next round. VP, they have a lot on the bank. Sparker did use that Galactic Legend at the very end to control space and to prevent them from trying to recontest there.
Yeah, sure. What I want to see here is Bobo trying to get at least some of the ults out from the strategist. That will open up now Pethig to go ahead and kind of clean up the scraps if able. We'll see how VP responds to it. Very talented, very patient team, so they should be able to expect this with ease. Taking a look, if we do get to check out the stats here and see kind of what the story is being told, I do want to just show and highlight right now. Look at the difference on the strategist front, because again, it's just so, well, you know, funny enough, it's more damage done on that end, but actually great job from them being able to keep things going. 5 eliminations though there, or you know, deaths for Fidel. That's going to slow them down a little bit, but they do have plenty of what it takes here, Vic, to try to get this opening point.
And here's the thing, when you have these individual players on VP that have so much experience playing these type of games too, they understand the concept of having to back away and reposition themselves before they re-engage. With this dive composition, yes, you're seeing so much damage and healing on the board from ChopperMag, but it's about VP knowing when to take their fight and to force a lot of these staggers.
Wow, it's lunchtime already as Nivix is trying to get something rolling for the team. Good close in from the rest of it. It's a strategist getting it done as the amplifier is going to be coming up from Skittles to try to get this team not only the damage, but the survivability that they need. I expect another long point, but my goodness, this is just an absolute reckoning. Matt Murdoch getting it done.
And guess what? They have all stall potential in the world. They have freedom. Charges Skittles the next victim. Daredevil, again, such a cool character. The way he's able to brawl you out, just immediately tether right onto you as he's trying to find them here, trying to jump right back away. No Invisible Woman to be the victim, though, on the other side of the vision, though, right? It's Fidel who does have that fate of both worlds on the Luna Snow.
Absolutely. Now looking at the Devil going to be let out shortly, and so, you know, Fidel's going to have to try to time that up. But what I'm worried about is they come back around to the legendary 4 Sparker here. But yeah, Bobo's going to have a big assignment for him now, but Nevix is going to make sure he gets the first lap. Bobo though with the 1-2. The Dance execution going to quickly get rid of the 2 big threats on the team, and no Devil being let out right now. Go to hell in the spawn room is going to be Matt Murdoch for a quick second. What cleanup job, and Bobo, this is a lot of the really responsibility is going to be on him if they want this win.
Exactly, Bobo needs to be enabled, and that's what they did. It was expensive, though, in terms of ult charge there. You were forced to use a Fate of both worlds, and that means you don't have anything defensively to deal with this, but you may not need it. If Bobo continues to pop up, but you still need the foundation of the rest of Chopper to stay alive in terms of numbers, so that way you can at least flip this point, because Cozy, they have yet to flip it once in the second round.
Yeah, with the early cap, it just makes things so tough, because you're trying to not only get the cap back, but have enough economy to keep the point after that, and really, their lineup is aggressive. Holding point, you know, with that strat or with the Captain America ult and the Freedom Charge can help, but you got to get it first. And Bobo, he's getting the first picks, but it's really the toolless of VP. Sparker doing on the old special there with the Daredevil. Do have to swap over to the Atom though. The more defensive play, I like it.
Yeah, he couldn't call out Bobo, right, when Bobo was in the invisibility on that Psylocke instead, so just swapped over to the Adam Warlock. I like this change up too, already this late into their progress on the point, nearing already 85% while Finzi finds Fidel here, and that's a big first pick because it delays Fidel boosting into this ult economy now as Skittles gets the BRB back.
Yeah, absolute great job here, and look out for the Agamotto. Going to take a quick reset though, so as the, you got their spawn coming from side base, so great job there. But Pethig making sure that these staggers are going to last, and right now it's just a reset for VP. In this meta, we've been seeing some contention after a little bit of stagger, not the full reset, but this is going to be VP getting what they need. Look, they have plenty though, plenty of time, but also ult economy and chance to get things growing for them.
The fact that they lost that point at the very end right there too means that Fai's going to swap right back over to the Daredevil, because if Bobo's going to be a problem and Bobo's going to be hiding in your back line, invisible, well guess what? Daredevil's going to be able to call out exactly where Bobo is positioned. It's going to be important too if they do with the Dance of the Butterfly.
Absolutely, Bobo just, it's like an ability for the amount of times Bobo has had the Dance of the Butterflies. We see it yet again, and that's a huge pick to get things rolling for him. He's got 1, he's looking for 2, folks. He's going to find a little bit of a fault there from Pethig, and that's exactly what they want. Not using too much in terms of ult charge. Absolute beautiful there from ChopperMag, keeping this point climbing, and what they do have on the defensive side, Fidel is going to have the dance, going to get Coachella up to keep the team alive from Sparker. They're going to have to look for. Don't want to use too much those Skittles, and Fidel do have to communicate. Make sure they don't use all the ults to stay alive, because they've got a lot coming at them.
Cue the dance off though here. You're going to have to be careful as they're now going to be able to reach that 50% mark on the point, and as Finzi tries to open the gates up for the rest of VP to get enabled, it's the Freedom Charge, and it's going to be met with Fidel and that Fate of both worlds. Drido is going to try to also get that speed boost up together because they don't like this progress that ChopperMag have, and now all of the strategists have been able to utilize everything, which means that they don't have an answer against Sparker. They don't have an answer against Fi, who doesn't even need to use Let the Devil Out to clearing this up.
Yeah, you know, I was actually wanting Fidel to hang on a little bit longer there. Maybe they could have done the damage boost here with the Piece of the Abyss instead, just used for pure survival, and they didn't even do that, right? So nothing what they wanted on this strategist front now, and right now they're empty when it comes to survivability. Sparker with the quick flip, dip, dodge, and dodge here. The patch, Houlihan, as we like to say it over here, and quickly going to be the portal to try to keep this thing competitive. It is getting close, though. I mean, they've got the point. They're able to keep this thing up to 99.99. Look at ult economy, too. Kind of neck and neck here in a lot of cases, but it's going to be Pethig with the legendary Vic.
Oh, this could be huge right now, but Sparker and Finzi do find both of the strategists. Saibei brings back Drijo now, and VP, they may not have control of the point right now, while Chopper managed to get it to 99%. There's no one in numbers from Chopper to keep this contended.
The old classic, everyone switching roles. Fidel had to go to Strange. Bobo, their best player, in my opinion, is going to the Luna, just unable to contest. And this is, okay, we do get a quick little dive here. I see is in Star trying to keep things sustained effort, but it's going to be a quick finish from the cap. You will not do it all day, sir. That first point. First map, go into VP.
I was wondering, because Fidel was like one of the last ones to go out too, so it was unfortunate timing, because by the time he actually came out on the Doctor Strange, it was, what, 10 seconds already in, and it was overtime already taken away. Tough position to be in. They were originally at 0% before they did put that to 99, but it is VP who turn around to take game number 1.
Yeah, and it's really not even accidental. They know who the Strange is and where it is and what, you know, who to eliminate last there. And sometimes when everything's get a little bit crazy, you do have to do switches you don't want to. And in that case, it was going to be the Bobo and Fidel switch. Taking a look at the stat screen here, Pethig doing their part there in Bobo for ChopperMag, but unable to get the job done as we just see VP doing what VP does. Such a fun time to be able to cast this team. I've been watching them a lot, all the way back from Alpha. Now getting to see this all live. And again, just not a weak spot on this team, Vic.
No, not at all. And look at Sparker right now. 12 final hits. Combine that with I, who's going to be able to have 10. I mean, actually insane duelist lineup to deal with. 25,000 damage on the board. While Pethig was doing a great job too, right? We were talking about Pethig and how they were able to really keep that contended. Same thing with Bobo with 13 final hits when Bobo was originally there on the Psylocke. Match that together with a Galactic Legend. It's just difficult when they are forced to trickle in. VP forces a lot of stalls in purpose. Yeah. Even if they give up the points, it's about timing when they can roll out with their own ultimates.
It was a quick 1-2 punch of Fi and Sparker too, right? Like just when you thought someone was going to be quickly eliminated, they get 3, Sparker would then join, and it was just always something they had to contend with. I felt like ChopperMag had the ult economy to deal with it, just wasn't properly executed right there, in my opinion, against Zinstar 2 against Nevix. Just wasn't the matchup that you wanted to see there. But again, domination can get a little crazy, can go either way, and so in that term, you know, we'll see if they can reset and reload best of 3. Hard to do it, especially against a team like VP Vic. But overall, this is what I expected on map 1.
Yeah, it's going to be hard too when VP is always so consistently good on other game modes, right? And now you have to consider, if you're a Chopper, which map do you want to go to? Where do you want to take VP after seeing the pick and ban phase, which I actually really enjoyed, Cozy.
Yeah, no, listen, ChopperMag, again, they've got all the talent, but when you have 3 regions, you have Bobo, who's the main shot caller for the team, you know, a little bit of language barrier there in some regards, you know, Fidel coming in last moment. They're kind of, and we've seen this with a couple teams here, they're trying to just put some things together here to make the difference happen, but listen, they get to pick the map now, reset, reload. Central Park is going to be the destination.
Yeah, you can see it actually right there already going to Convergence. I'm interested to see how that's going to work out because Central Park, I believe, is where we actually did get to see that Hexa from Sparker. So, okay, you take that away from what you watched from day number 1. We now move over to day number 2. And if you're ChopperMag, they had a great performance in the earlier series today. I believe it was series number 1 that we had within Group A. And now you're taking a look at VP, the Titans of EMEA, and what they have to do differently.
Yeah, the story at LAN for me, too, is always, you know, I try not to take things too seriously in some of the matchups. I need to see really the talent lineup, and for me, like for instance, Reject, when they got their first win, I'm like, let's see how they continue to dominate. We saw them against Envy, and then that was a whole nother story, right? And it's the same with ChopperMag. This is their, I don't want to say first true test. That, you know, Dark Zero, you know, they did lose one game to them, right? And so wanting to see them with VP and where they stand up. Again, I do think that the talent level is there, but when you look at the word family here, VP is some of the most, because there's been roster mania across the board. They've been kind of locked tight here now for months on end.
I'm so glad you bring that up because I mentioned it a little bit. I touched upon it yesterday, but through the highs and the lows, this team, they were, I'm going to say it, snuffed out essentially of being able to go to the mid-season playoffs there. They were unable to perform, and so they did not qualify, right? Instead of having to rework this roster, they stuck together because they know how strong they are, and they have been able to get way more flexible, learning what they needed to change up as we get into the draft for game number 2.
Absolutely, and when you lose like that going to midseason, I mean, it can sometimes shake the entire team, or you can use it as fuel to the fire, and trust me, there's plenty of fuel going in here as they did come in with that first #1 seed. Going to the draft, though, once again, we do get a little bit of the Mantis into the Jeff, Venom to follow, with the saves both going to Emma, so yes, we will get some eyes on the thighs here, as Shib likes to say. Emma going to be on both sides of things, and that's going to obviously help out against the relentless dive that I expect to see plenty of.
Man, I love Dogman's impression of Shib, by the way. It was so accurate. Those guys had me cracking up. And it is the ban on the Jeff. VP noting that here. And Emma's so strong. That's why you see both these teams protecting Emma. Emma's so good on this map as well, right? And controlling those lanes as well, trying to get that space. Wondering if we're going to see Fi actually roll out on that Daredevil.
Which I think they did notice there. Nevix was the key issue of really just survivability for that team. And so they get rid of that. This is a great Venom map as well. You know, get the spooky season going on for the month of October, but also the Symbiote Feast here in the early dive. But there's the Bucky ban once again. And, you know, I like that. Just shutting down what Pethic does best.
I do think it's interesting that ChopperMag wanted to take them here too, because ChopperMag, I don't believe, have even played on Central Park throughout their course of their Stage 2 experience. Meanwhile, VP did play earlier in Stage 2, and they've gone 2-1 here. So, you know, taking the best opportunity, considering their other records, Hall of Jolly and Symbiotic Surface. For Symbiotic, it's 1-0, and for Hall of Jolly, it's 4-1. But you can see the Adam Warlock Protect coming out next from Chopper.
Yeah, and for me, I like the Mantis ban. You can't have Mantis here when you have the level of talent at the duelist position. It just, I mean, I saw that with 100 Thieves yesterday. It's like when you give them that, it just makes Terry even better. In this case, Sparker and Fee. But when you look at it, or Fi, but when you look at it here, the Loki ban once again could be the bait out. We didn't see a lot of Adam outside of that last switch up here. Last save going to VP is going to be the Adam itself.
And then they could just force out the Loki ban on the other side, and now you're burning a ban from both teams. This is the part that I love about High Level Mar. I love it because you and I got to talk to Kurova, who explained the thought process behind doing stuff like this in the pick and ban phase, and it actually ended up playing it out on Central Park or something like that, or like roughly within that series too, right? So it's great to see how a lot of our pros have made the adaptation within the pick and ban phase.
Yeah, the old Professor Xavier brain, the Cerebro brain happening. There is plenty of it too. I talked to a lot of the coaches, and that's definitely built into the game plan, you know, say, hey, look over here, and meanwhile they have a whole nother plan on the other side. When we look at what we're locking up and what we are ready to do here as we find ourselves in what is, listen, I love this map. I think this map is always close, always looks great. Vicky's face right now cracked me up. What do you see? What makes you crazy?
I'm laughing because they didn't take the bait. They were like, no Bucky.
Yeah, right.
No Bucky. We ain't going to ban Loki. We saw what you did with Bucky. So I'm just like, all right, these guys are great. Like, these teams are fantastic.
I'm just glad. If they had a caster cam on us the whole time, you guys would think we're absolutely crazy here as we look into 25 seconds, the setup here for ChopperMag and the defensive effort. We're going to have the tree come to play, and I think this is great here. Groot always good on this map to shut things down early.
You know, and while we look at VP with an unorthodox composition that maybe they'll change up, I like the Angela play that we've been seeing more often. Cozy, you have to invite the viewers to come see us live here at DreamHack Atlanta. You want to see our reactions? Well, guess what? You could see them live at our venue. It's going to be a fantastic time to see how Marvel Rivals Ignite is going to really play out here, because we are currently at the apex of the talent of these individual players. Looking at ChopperMag, they have Zen still on that Groot, which played really well earlier on too, while Pethic is on that Mag.
Yeah, but I love Nevix here on the Angela. We got to see a little bit of that when they just went against Dark Zero. Now looking at what they could do here. Just a good Angela map in general. Points, I would say, here early on. And I want them to go aggressive here. With the Groot, you could get caught a little bit trying to go and split up, but the Sparker on the Wolf, it's Logan time, hunting season, and that's what he does best. He doesn't just go for the prey. He hunts them as he's going to be looking for what looks to be this kind of... Look at this nice little jump-up job. Love that. Write that down if you're looking for rank play.
Exactly. Take note, that way you know how to get onto this positioning here without having to burn your abilities. And you know what? It's going to feel like you're in a roller coaster if you are dealing with this composition from VP. Literally whiplash. You can get pulled in by the Invisible Woman, choke slam there by the Emma. But it's about staying grouped together as the Groot walls come up. Groot is trying to stay alive, Zen's trying to back away. It is the Wolverine Sparker staying alive somehow here, literally one shot before he backs away, and Skittles had gotten that CS so quick.
Yeah, got to win that fight, though. If you have the early amplifier, you've got to try to at least get a pick or two. Nothing from it. Now, at this point, you're going to have VP with the reverse snowball back onto him, right? They have what they need. Invisible Boundary popping up a little early, but they're going to plan to use the Rocket ult themselves for the aggression they need. And just like that, you thought Phoenix was out of the meta. Nope. Hot and fiery here at Ignite in the grand finals of what we're setting up for. Bobo, though, with the quick, nice pick, like what we see there. But it's relentless. This is the aggression that I wanted to see.
It's a cherry on top here as Bobo safe and sound over in the back, though. They can't call him out. He gets the Born Again, the Resurrection, but guess what? Sparker comes diving down on the Wolverine to find Pethig and Bobo. Silent Seduction here from the other side as Fidel had called in the invisible boundary right beforehand, but thankfully Bobo's got that fast to come right back around to help him out.
Heaven's falling. How appropriate, because they are in hell right now. Just absolutely getting sliced and diced here. It's a look on Animal Planet as Sparker's looking for more, but it's going to be the Spaceball special. Up, down. He needs a connection. Finds it. Slam dunk. Goodbye, Saipei, as you do a quick little trip to not the spawn room. You're going to be back here into the action. Good res there. And you got to find the rocket first if you do realize that the spawn is ready.
Honestly, Pethig would have gotten me there. He gave me whiplash. Looking really solid. He does
with the throw off.
Environmental, the shish kebab, as you know it here, Cozy, off the environmental KO.
Yeah, not a lot of resin from that. You're going to be right there to the bottom of hell. But now looking for what they can do. Look, this aggression. This is why I love Angela on this part of the map as Phoenix rains down with the in-song. Nothing connected there, but Sparker going to find the best of Groot. And not only that, the Groot ult came out, found no effect. We'll say ChopperMag doing an okay job here on the defensive front. Sometimes it could get out of hand. Not too bad, but still a minute left on the clock and rolling.
Nevix is honestly such a scary, aggressive Vanguard. If it's not the Venom, it's this Angela getting so much output. I have to say that's another one of my biggest highlights going into day 2 here for group stages, because something that we've noted from yesterday and even going into today, the Angela play, it does highlight that those survivability buffs from 4.5 have really helped her out, and also the specific map choice you need for her.
Yeah, get swinging on those axes, and Star's going to try to match the one-wing Angel, get a little fight in the skies, if you will. Love to see it. And wow, they're going right for it here. But yeah, Nevix, I mean, I've been watching him for a very long time. Was a demon on the Hulk and just evolved to such a flexible player. Bobo is going to be the target. He does not want this assassin in there. Finds it quickly. Bobo couldn't even touch the ground, Vicky.
He was like, help me, please. Ayúdame. He can't even get away. He can't even dash. He can't even dash. I mean, imagine having to be on the receiving end of Nevix,
look at this aggression,
who doesn't stop. He literally has not stopped. Heaven's retribution. Oh my, and then he gets the no, but he can't get a chance. You have to use this dance of the Cutterfly at least to get some type of momentum going, and this is how you start things up. Pethig's able to find Sparker, but guess what? Jijo brings him right back around.
They just keep coming back. It's Marvel Zombies, but it's going to be more in rank play this time around. But good response there from Pethig, who did get the, the death, came right back and got the quick, not only legendary, but was able to get the quick pick as well. Sparker came back now, and this is where, can they find Sparker? Where is he hiding? Come on, try to find him behind the scenes there. Yes, he is going to be behind the castle, like I said, trying to stalk his play. Pray, wait for his team. Good job here. Does have that Berserker Rampage ready. Oh, look at Bobo. Bobo knows. Bobo found him. How the awareness the game since. Once again, you cannot fool this assassin. She is the true, master of stealth there, Vicky.
Yep, and then you get to see, on the high ground with that Sonic Seduction, but you have to look at Sparker trying to get the kidnap, and then you have to also, you're looking like a chameleon. You got one eye looking at Sparker, the other one looking at Nevix as he gets the slam down here, tries to get the follow-up, but Nevix gets punished for this. Heaven's Retribution now comes crawling down. It's the invisible boundary that's forced out.
Yeah, Bobo and that survivability is insane. I mean, got brought up, thrown to the wall, nothing happened from it, so great escape there, and you burn the cooldown. Sparker now going to go over to the Star-Lord, like this switch a ton for them. Minute and 30 seconds right now, ChopperMag playing this perfectly here. You do have Karmic Revival, so you do have to find Fi here if you want to go ahead and try to stop what's going to be the relentlessness of this VP team. But taking a look here, you got the Dance of the Butterflies coming right up. That's going to be the assignment. Can Bobo find the quick cut? But it's going to be now Finzi who's going to get a bit stung and have to back out. Can't get that early stagger, Vicky.
I really like the isolation attempts that we're seeing from ChopperMag, and now with Skittles having to see ya. You hear the Born Again. You were talking about it, Cozy. They haven't called him out. And guess what? All that hard work that ChopperMag just put down already put to rest, because VP is back in another wave of zombies.
Yeah, but they have what they need. They have Fidel there with the invisible boundary. They didn't use the dance, so they got 1 and 2 there. Heaven's going to fall, but I think it's also going to be VP falling behind. But Sparker does find a quick pick there, and that's a big one. They got Fidel falls with the invisible boundary. That's brutal, because now they have, this is, okay, Pethig at least, though, going to keep the pressure away from them, because they would have nothing to defend from what is Sparker 9% away.
And they take care of Saipei as well. That's a huge pick, because you also don't have an invisible boundary, so you kind of evened out the trade in that equation. Now Fidel comes back around, exactly. Invisible boundary now next comes in, and Sparker does have that Galactic Legend. Wasting time, though. VP have less than 15 seconds on the clock.
Oh, no, Oh my gosh, Dredro does go down, does throw up the ult. Sparker gonna have to pop this legendary, but Skittles getting close. Can Skittles get this ult up to keep the... Oh, look at this blockage. Got some blockage happening here as the quick invisible boundary does pop up. Collecting Legend is ready, but if you're Sparker, pop it now. No, he can! He finds the spawn room instead. Petting with a quick elimination on it.
But they have to make sure that they completely annihilate VP off this point, because if you don't, and Nevix changing over to the thing means that they don't have to worry about the Invisible Woman push-off that we consistently started seeing. Heaven's Retribution next, overtime fight, taking away here. ChopperMag has Bobo! The pop-off right now that he needed to shove VP off this point before they get any progress to that next checkpoint.
Okay, Bobo, what an absolute electric finish if you're ChopperMag. Way to bounce right back into this thing, and they had disaster averted there with the way things rolled. I mean, Sparker, listen, it's like you got to time it up. The ult, though, could have done some clearing, but by then there was not enough firepower behind it. Great job for ChopperMag. They have to feel fantastic of that defensive effort now. Taking a look on the offensive side. Hey, don't fix it if it's not broken. I'd go with the Psylocke again there for Bobo. Oh!
Yeah. Oh, he's showing that he can cook. It's got about flexibility out here, because, you know, we were also talking about Adam Warlock. The Psylocke obviously has been working out here, but the Phoenix, I also do like Phoenix, though, on this map as well. So, I mean, you have those close-range fights. Everyone's grouped up together if they're not split up on that second point.
Yeah, for sure. And when you have Skittles and the damage boost with the in-song, it's so detrimental. It's so hard to deal with that damage. So maybe they just want the quick combo wombo there. You do have Pethic going over to the Wolverine, though, because they did expect Nevix to play the Groot. Again, just such a great first-point hero on the defensive side of things. But the key is, as it is always, since you don't have the Jeff, though, it is find the Atom, and that's going to be their first job.
Like what we saw here from Chopper. Seeing what they're going to be able to roll out with here. Fidel still sticking to that Invisiwoman. Zenz on that group, which I do think is interesting. Something you have to make sure of, though, is Finzi being on that Emma Frost.
Yep, and Dredro, though, we do have the double res happening. So that is going to be, they need, what, 18 eliminations to even get that point? I do, you know, when VP has that access to that many lives, I mean, that is absolutely brutal. They're going to have to do a quick in and find, honestly, it just put these strategists in a tough time if they can get an early pick. That's going to help out. Try to just delay the inevitable. Skittles, though, 20% and climbing. Sparker going to be right there to match. As they're going pure aggressive, I do like what Duop's doing. Good close off there, though, from Nevix.
And I really like the fact that VP is just sticking to this triple support composition that constantly worked out for them. They've picked it like 75% thus far within group stages with the limited games that they've played here. And you see the IM group, Nevix now holding up forward, but I really like these walls from Zenz, while Bobo is taking that high ground position that you and I had noted before, uncontested, by the way, as we see the Wolverine slam down. Someone called ambulance. He literally could not get out.
Yeah, they were healing him too. I mean, I was like, wow, great effort for the strategist, keeping him alive, but no, that was absolutely CC burned away. We always know fire type is good against grass type. We saw it right there as Skittles is going to get now Finzi out of this, so that's going to at least give them plenty of offensive effort. Look how clean this take was, and now they're trying to find the option of the res and building. 76, just getting that pressure, though, is huge as the legendary pops up. Sparker trying to defend this point the best they can, though. Fidel going to pop the invisible boundary to give a little bit of safety for the team, and right now it's all ChopperMag.
Finding Finzi here is huge, and with fight going down, by the way, without that Karmic Revival, it's really up to Saipa to keep the contention going on, because look at all this time that ChopperMag have if they manage to flip this, but then you turn things around after Sparker was able to get at least one pick, and then Zenz with a lovely Groot hug brings them all together to send them back to the spawn.
The old Groot hug, the old Groot photo, as we said yesterday. Now, as we have this point of so much momentum, Vicky, I would say this is one of the maps I like the most, when what you've done on point 1 translates to point 2 so well. They did use a lot to kind of finish the exclamation point there, if you will, looking at what they do have. Pethics can find some early limbs if they want to with the quick Berserker Rage. Don't expect them to stay on Wool, but we'll go in and get maybe a quick, more aggressive ult. Bobo going to charge up, but you all know you can do that in milliseconds. What a match, folks. What we're watching right here, can ChopperMag make this interesting as Skittles gets the first laugh?
And you're wondering, you know, why would you protect Emma here in this equation? Well, guess what? Duop has gotten so much done out of getting that Carving Crush, that choke slam here, the slam down, by the way. Pethic tries to get the follow. Sparker, though, has called out Bobo after we just saw that swap from the Phoenix over to the Psylocke instead. I mean, you have to consider, are you going to do that 1v1 versus Sparker?
That's what I want to see.
Hero?
I'm being honest. Let's get a little multiversal battle here whenever you have. And that's what happens when you have one Psylocke going well, the other one, it's like an ego check. Like, you know what? Hold on. Let me get a little bit of this. We're seeing it right here as Sparker finds 1, 2, and wow, it's going to be Fi. with the other. I mean, that's a great job to slow them down. Just the momentum, 3 minutes, 40 seconds is an eternity on this map. But if we look at what they have charged in Vic, they have plenty of defensibility.
And this is the position where the payload is that I was actually talking to Moxie in the green room about where, specifically on this map too, I dislike it so much because here in this point, you're coming out of the spawn room gates, but guess what? The team that is defending has so much open sight lines on where you're going to be exit out of. You only have so many space to move through, and it forces out so much. A nice invisible boundary, at least from Fidel, when they try to take a roundabout rotation, and they isolated Nevix in the process.
Yeah, I was going to say, first, great point, because some maps really favor defense. This one, not as much. They did get to force that out a little bit early from Fidel. I think they do like that. They have to capitalize on it as Bobo is going to hunt for more here. Great job getting a quick slash, and that's going to force the other side of things. As Saipei now is going to get the invisible boundary up. They do have Dreetro as well, so they just have to play this patiently. Don't panic. Pethic, though, he's up and counting, though, and Heaven falling. Nevix, what a freeze!
Oh, the freeze, but it's not going to be enough. There's too much damage output. Nevix says, all right, you can take your little 2-second break, but it's fine. We get an entire team wipe off the Heaven's Retribution, and now Nevix getting into aggressive position. They still have a good amount of time here, Cozy. 2 minutes, less than 40 seconds on the clock.
2 minutes, but honestly, I like what they have cooking over here for VP, right? Let's see how Sparker decides to use this. I can hear VP behind me, yo. They're going absolutely wild when they win these team fights. I love it. That's the energy that I want right here on Marvel Rivals LAN live in Atlanta, Georgia. We now have Zinstari with the Freedom Charge. We'll see how they choose to use this more for the save or the aggressive push. ChopperMag, pretty aggressive team, so we might see it. Wow, this could be a huge pick early, but they get the, oh, that team up is so nasty.
It's great, and it also forces them to reposition, though, so it could be beneficial here. If Fidel can stay alive, Skittles can't. The strategies are off the table because Sparker catches him in the back.
Sparker, I wanted to see that from them because the rest team will be following up behind Pethic. Gonna get that legendary out, but gonna quickly find that spawn room. Once again, Nivix getting the job done. Minute 50 seconds now, still an eternity. If you're ChopperMag, slow things down. You have time, right? But right now, VP still showing why. They didn't push all the way, but they're the team to fear.
Man, I love brawl characters in the game. Like, they give me such FGCS vibes here. The way that I'm getting to see Nevix just pushing in, getting the follow-up combo, the 1-2 punch, and then slamming down there, isolating these individual pieces. ChopperMag, though, coming into this fight, they have that invisible boundary. You want to enable Bobo, who also wants to try to harass that backline. It's going to be important with Saipei having the invisible boundary themselves.
I like the early Strange swap here, too. Obviously, they're going to want the portal and everything for later, but charge up that Agamo while you can. But Bobo going to find Saipei early. Saipei is pretty much a duelist in that position of strategist. Now we're going to get the legendary coming up. Nothing to follow. They don't want to... Okay, Fidel, Skittles, are you going to use anything? Just rotate in. This is perfect for them because they didn't have to use a thing there. Just good positioning, but got to keep the team alive here as now you're going to have the damage boost. Capitalize off it. Bobo with a quick flush and finish. Good God.
Goodbye. I mean, no Heaven's Retribution for you as you boost that up. And that was smart too, at least from VP's call, because they were forced to use that Galactic Legend when they lost out on Saipei very early. Meanwhile, Bobo wants to extend, though, on this momentum. Remember, they don't have to get it fully to that checkpoint. They just need to move a cart ever so slightly to defeat the Titans. That is VP right now. Fidel saves the day with the invisible boundary to push off.
That's been kind of the ace in the hole for them. It's been the Heavens Falls and the follow-up behind it, but not this time. It's going to be Fidel with that last laugh. Now we've got just 23 seconds, folks, going in. Can they get it done? It's going to be, once again, Sparker trying to make the difference. A quick kick there, though, from 2F. Love what we're seeing now. Back up close, 98%. Dreetro's going to be able to get the damage boost and the protection, but here comes the Agamotto with a push-off from Saipei. Good God.
The push-off right there was huge! Fidel now looking over to the other side. Pethic trying to stay alive, who's about to have the Galactic Legend with overtime taken away.
Yeah, and the Strange fall first, but Zinstar going to go to the Venom instead here to try to get a little bit of touch, and it's a legendary coming from Pethic. There's going to be nothing to match, so the rotation has to happen. Sparker says, what rotation? As he finds Skittles now pushing in. Pethic not able to get anything from this. It's disastrous for ChopperMag.
Yeah, and they lost out on having to see you potentially here at the very end. Meanwhile, Five got it instead, and they cannot get off the point, right? They can really use the portal as some makeshift cover. Silent deduction! It's going to stop him! Talk about the right time now, but it's the survivability. The invisible boundary now. It's going to be met from both sides like a Venn diagram.
Found in the chaos. They found the respawn. It's going to be Bobo with the dance of the butterflies back. Skittles, Bobo. Folks, can they do it? ChopperMag looking to end this thing as it's not going to be any more strange plays. No other sustain outside of Finzi here trying to get something rolling for the team, but it's going to be the rest of ChopperMag. There's one pixel left on the overtime picking.
trickling in the 1-by-1 with a pixel left
my
for
God.
overtime timer. They get some trades, but they manage to find him at the very end. And ChopperMag, they take it. They take game number 2, taking us all the way home to game number 3.
That's what we wanted to see, folks. I am telling you, this is what we're seeing here at Atlanta. Pretty much every single team has a fighting shot in this thing. And ChopperMag, that was your we can do it moment, right? You're going against what is the biggest threat right now in this group, and just like that, get it done. We have a 1-to-1 Vicky. What a game!
Remember what we highlighted, by the way. This is a team that didn't play on this map in Stage 2. VP's record, by the way, was like 2-1, so they wanted to take the best chances that they could. They've seen that they're mortal on this map. Well, guess what? Despite whatever performance they had, look at the scoreboard. Currently, Skittles popping off 2, staying alive, 36,000 healing. But honestly, my MVP, Bobo, coming out with that solid Pethic 2 with the Galactic Legend.
Yeah, I think Bobo and Sparker kind of matched each other. For me, it was Fi and Pethic. I think Pethic just had a little bit of a difference maker outside of the final hits that you see there, just the timing of when it happened, because Saipei is a demon. That absolutely crazy. But when you look at what this team was able to put together, I'm telling you, Bobo was a local celebrity in China. I mean, they loved him there on the crowd, and it's so cool to see it go to OCE. What are the odds?
This is a region that, again, a lot of teams are saying do not sleep. I will have to also give a highlight and an MVP specifically for a really big portion of the end fight right there. When Sparker popped the Dance of the Butterflies in that side broken room with 3 members of ChopperMag, Fidel, the stand-in for this team, had the Invisible Woman shield up, and guess what they were doing? Playing Ring Around the Rosie around the other side of the shield while they were also protected by the Emma Frost inner carbon form, trying to get the grab at the very last animation of that Dance of the Butterflies.
Absolutely, and listen, VP, they're very aggressive. I love what Nivix was doing that entire map. That last Heaven Falls before the final battle, that was a big difference maker for me. Who can make the big difference there and get that final, kind of, what was their win condition, ace in the hole? Right here, we saw where it worked out just fine for them. Was expecting that again, but not this time around. I had to say great sustain effort from VP, though, to be able to at least keep that thing interesting towards the end, and obviously Saipei there with a crazy push-off. But that's what you want to see here at the top level of Marvel Rivals. Again, love the Strange early swap over 2 went to Venom. It was chaos out there.
Yeah, and then having that shield there, you could use it as some makeshift cover, right? You see the Galactic Legend from afar. You're waiting for the Sign of Seduction to save you for the moments that you could waste away from that ultimate. And they're like, all right, you can't see me, though. And then the Sign of Seduction came in to be the insurance policy that they needed to negate that ultimate.
I felt like we went to point 4. It was point 2 both times. I mean, that was an absolute masterclass. And let's go ahead and talk about quickly, too, ChopperMag and their execution there on point 1. I mean, it was pretty flawless there because I love the double res. I mean, you see that available, you fear it. They didn't care. They were able to push in with ease there, Vicky. Y'all, that was an absolutely insane matchup. We have the, they're going to get relocked, reloaded. We can hear them in the background, y'all, as we're going to go ahead and take a quick little break. We'll be back in a moment. But go ahead. Actually, I just had to point out, by the way, can you see? Look at this aura.
They mean business. They mean business, man. I mean, when you take a game number 2 like that and you're looking to take it the distance after these 2 last games alone, let's not forget game number 1 was even close, right? It was a 99 to 99 percentile situation when they were down without camping the point once. Everything is possible here, Cozy. We're going to have to see if they take it home at the very end for game number 3 on the other side of this break.
Which ones have what it takes to become the best of the best?
The fight is gonna happen right here, right
We are at DreamHack Atlanta at the Marvel Rivals Global Finals.
We're ChopperMag.
你最好别输。
You could just see the aura farm there on Bobo and just the comfortability on the right side of the couch. If you want to know, we just got a glass of water just to reset, reload for a Game 3 that I don't think was expected, folks, here at Atlanta, Georgia. Vicky, if you look at both teams and what they did well, first, who's going to take it and how?
I feel like number one thing is the readaptation and making the swaps that they needed at the very end of a lot of those fights, right?
Sure.
And now, not only was the Psylocke actually, I mean, we're talking about that 1v1 between like Sparker and what we're seeing from the other side. Like, how are you going to try to diff that, right? And then you make these swaps that we had to see, the Galactic Legend getting progress, the Psionic Seduction. Then we saw Fidel coming through too, protecting the rest of the team, the Invisible Boundaries, cycling in and out. And that's together with Saipe being as insane of a strategist as Saipe is.
Yeah, two different notes. First, don't think we're going to see Psylocke. Bobo,
Yeah.
I think Bobo Psylocke is now gone. Fidel, too, doing a great job subbing in. Yeah, shout out to you, buddy, as we find ourselves once again in New York, folks. We just went to Central Park. Now let's go ahead and take it down Main Street here and all the way to Avengers Tower, Stark Tower, as we get the pick and bans. And last time we had two saved Emmas. This time, goodbye, Emma Frost. You will not be here.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because guess what?
Yep.
Imagine Emma Frost together with the group here, especially for the defense. We know that these are two teams that have no issue on having to flex into that 3-3 if they need to. And I'd also want to point out, by the way, Chopper thus far within Stage 2, they are 2-0 on this map. Ooh. And this is where VP take them. But then you look at VP's win rate.
What are they, like 20-0 over here?
right. Basically, if you want to add up the stats here from this Stage 2, but they're actually 6-1 within Stage 2 within EMEA.
Well, guess what? We do have Satan's greatest soldier saved on both sides. The Jeff will be here, and this is an interesting Jeff map, right? A lot of the time, it's a good separation till point 3. Not a lot of areas to throw them off completely, but we are going to have the double Mantis ban, so this is the matchup I wanted to see. No Mantis, funny business with the damage boost up. Now, Venom being banned on both sides is what I expect. Try to shut down the symbiotic shenanigans. If you don't know, I think it's like a 65% win rate, the highest in Rivals amongst all of them in terms of team-ups. Vicky.
Write that down right now.
Write that
I mean,
down.
you guys got to take some notes out here, too, if you want to climb through your own respective ladders. But you talk about respect, by the way. Bucky, off the table. VP banned the Bucky, and I like this option, too, because we do see the Bucky usually coming out as well to be able to get those resets, especially if you're trying to bait out a Loki for your own team. Let's say if they want to go for the double res, well, guess what? They don't have to worry about the Bucky reset onto those lamps and the clones that Loki could provide.
Agreed. I do love the Venom band there from the top, as we were just pointing out. But also, listen, Bobo's playing elite play right now. You can't give Pethig the Bucky. That's what I also like there, too, because if you give them both, either 1A, 1B is Terror. There's that Loki kind of bait that we continue to see from the teams now. Last save available. And honestly, VP, the Atom just wasn't working for them that time around, so I'm going to be curious what they want to go with here. And I think for me, if you're down one, if it's looking tight here on a tied game, fuel your best player. That is Sparker. That's exactly what I wanted to see them do. Save the Bucky. That is the winning strat. We see teams do that all the time. Like Envy, they try to help out Speedery if things are looking down. You're going to have another great duelist here in Sparker at play. Now taking a look at the last ban. What way do you want to go about it, Vic? They can go a couple rolls here, and they go with the Groot, which I think is solid.
I also just think it's so smart, too, because when you bait out also the Loki ban, well, guess what? That means that they waste that ban, and they can't ban out the Venom because they protected the Jeffs, so that means that they could still at least lean into that symbiotic shenanigans if they do want to roll out with that Venom and the Jeff.
For sure, and you know what you can't have? If you have the Bucky save, you can't have any of the easy wombo combo of the Bucky Groot, right? It just makes things too easy to get through those crucial moments and pushes, so they're going to shut that down as well, right? Nivik's a very good group player, but also just can't afford to get that team up together. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, Game 3 right here, ChopperMag, Virtus Pro, Grand Finals, Marvels, Rivals, Ignite. I'm Cozy, Vicky, here we go.
Let's go. This is what the Grand Finals is all about here. We are in day 2 of group stages, and currently OCE have taken the Titans of the EMEA region to game number 3 in our best of 3. This is where it matters everything here, because it also highlights the talent that is ChopperMag right now, even with those last-minute adjustments that they were forced to come out with.
Yeah, very interesting here. I do like the offensive strategy that they've got rolling, kind of what they brought into the Dom there. You got Fi and Sparker on the Daredevil and the Psylocke. Bobo, yeah, listen, I like when we've got Bobo and Speedery up in the air as Ultron. I need to see them on the ground doing what they do best, the duelist. This could spell trouble for ChopperMag, but taking a look, here we go. They do have symbiotic shenanigans. They have plenty of sustain in this defensive build here. Sometimes we get strange bans, not this time around, as Nevik's going to be rocking the Sorcerer Supreme, pushing right through this first turnaround.
Yeah, I'm always on the line when it comes to the Ultron too, because sometimes we're still seeing some teams really force out the Season 4.0 meta as Vinci's just trying to
Did you
jump
hear the
around.
portal?
Yeah, I heard it behind him.
But it's a swap over, so it was a portal, I think a shut off maybe, and then you have now Nevix going over to the Thor. They do like this as that aggression and peel that they can do. Interesting portal there, though, in the early play.
I'll be honest, because sometimes I'll hear the portal randomly, and then there's no Doctor Strange on the screen, and I feel like I'm just hearing things at this point. But yeah, you heard it over to the other side right now. We're going to get the Steve 1v1 for now, while Finzy's not able to let him get away now, as he's gonna be able to back away too, because you have to worry about also that Ultron up in the sky that Boba's gonna be able to put in that pressure and find Skittles in the process.
Yeah, I'll keep it PG here. America's butt, right, is what they like to say in the MCU, you know, but we look over at what is going to be yet another Angela aggression. I do like what Zinstar's been doing for the team here, trying to find a bit of their prey. Good job stalling. Always love that. The rotate back just to keep the point afloat, right? Now we have Sparker looking against Bobo, and it's so much harder in the skies, but great healing from Jeff. So easy to heal up the Age of Ultron there in Bobo, and it's been the Age of Bobo thus far. Sparker, though, has the Dance of the Butterflies ready. First Jaws moment is going to be from Skittles.
Oh, he gets the
He got him? Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Are you kidding me? He was trying to get away at the same time up in the middle of the air. Okay, that's time to take a trip somewhere else, isolate you from the rest of your team. Big Itch Jeff, but it also isolates Skittles at the same time too, you can imagine, as Drijo now has the Itch Jeff. Can he turn this fight around with Saipe having Neves coming right back from the BRB after Fies let the devil out?
Yeah, listen, it's been a while since I've done any biology class, but the old food chain, shark and raccoon, you know, haven't heard that one as much, but we do have Drijo trying to do the same themselves. Don't get a lot from it, it looks like here, as Fi just trying to get the Daredevil rolling. This has been the problem with the hero right now, though, at pro play. So easy not to get that guy to snowball what he does best, but he does find Zinstar. That's what you want, and from here, you can take it, though. Fidel going to get that res, but it is going to be VP able to get things rolling their direction.
Look at it. It's Saipe looking to collect. Tumnuk will be so proud, the depth collector himself here, as Sparker is going to also have that Dance of the Butterflies here. Zens can't find their way outside the other side of the portal. The fact that he was able to block it the whole time and still put in pressure, by the way, on the Thor.
Yeah, no magic here, okay? You got a god versus a magician. That one's going to be a one-sided battle, as point one going to go to VP, unless you get a little bit of a stall here. Duep just trying to put up a little bit of contention. This is going to be the slice, the dice, and cooking there for VP, as they do find themselves getting what we want here momentarily. This is kind of just a triple effect, trying to do what they can to sustain, take the time off the clock. Minute and 14, though, not bad, not bad. This is, though, where the magic happens. Point two, so tough on this map.
Could have honestly forced out a stall right there, but you know, they don't want to risk wasting even more time, so they take care of the Luna at the very end before we see some swap-ups. Now coming out of Chopper after Pethic, I was sent down, they now make the swap over to the Adam Warlock. Zen's trying a little hint at a penny, but it was no penny. It was actually going to swap right over to the Venom, so that way you could have those symbiotic shenanigans once again too, and Duep looking like to stay on to that Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we've seen teams try to do where it's tough to win the first fight, but you have a defensive comp or just the aggression comp. And ChopperMag's just going to stick here with a little bit of a hybrid approach of both. Duep still on the Doctor Strange is going to be the call that I want to look for at this moment. Now it's going to be Fi just trying to stay alive, and a good job at it. 74 health and falling, but it's going to be now Saipe who finds the best of it. VP cleaning up good, but there it is again. Fidel trying to give this team a chance, even with the reses. There is going to be the quick res there from Pethic now, 70% in climbing. That's what they have to look out for if you're Drijo.
And now you see the Itch Jeff, well, guess what? Trying to catch Finzy as he jumped on the other side of the wall.
Oh.
No Jaws for you. Sorry, take out the John Williams music here. No composure left to find out, because Finzy is popping off. He gets the follow-up. He got the 3K before, and he's still harassing the backline.
The exact job that's called for him right now, because what you can't do is you see that 10% there. If they're able to get to that point two, Pethic could keep this team up for ages, and you just have to go full aggression, kind of the opposite of what they did there on our previous map of Central Park there. But now we look at what we have. A Duep on the Agamotto. Again, not crazy about it. This is, look, I love when you get the little Daredevil trying to see what's around and what's happening here for the team. Loading up the batons there as lethal as we know them. And Drijo ready here to continue to help out the team. The Agamotto is out though, Vicky. And just like that, it just, sometimes, listen, sometimes magic can just be too powerful, you know? You got to just tame it down. It stopped the whole thing.
So powerful that we get affected by it here too. You know, the Eye of, maybe they didn't, but we get Eye of Agamotto in real time. Make sure you take care of the souls right behind us too, so that way we can start getting going again. But it's Finzy hugging the spawn room gates for me, by the way, creating so much of that space.
For sure, VP playing the game that they want to at this moment. I think it was a great hold there early from ChopperMag. But point two, you got to quickly figure out those swaps and changes. They tried to do the Atom, but what happened? They didn't even have time to readjust. I mean, mean, they just pushed in fully. Great awareness from VP there, knowing though, hey, don't give them any time to get that kind of defensive stronghold. We saw that with like maybe a Hella and a Namor. If they get the first win, strong defensive hold there. This time the Adam Warlock didn't go the way they wanted, Vic.
Yeah, and also the awareness too of when the Itch Jeff came out, Finzi being able to hug the other side of that wall, call them out. Because let's say if the Itch Jeff did find something, if I had already used up the Let the Devil Out, right, that AoE that you could kind of control some of that space, together with the Freedom Charge, what would happen if you take these two pieces that are crucial in allowing them to create the space off the table? Sure, they had the number advantage, but the Adam Warlock still had the passive online. He was around like 70% on getting the Karmic Revival. Imagine if they had the time to be able to stall for even longer, then it would have worked into their game plan, but it didn't work when the Itch Jeff didn't also get the collaboration that he needed.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, what I want to see point 3 now is I would say back against the walls a little bit. You obviously cannot give any extra time, right? I expect there to be some overtime. If it's a 3-3, that's fine. If one team gets 30 seconds, it's pretty much over. So tough to come back from that. Hey, give me Bopo on the side lock. Let's get back to that action, especially with all the corners and dodging and dipping that you can do on the Deadly Assassin. But Vic, right now, ChopperMag, they found themselves here a couple times. They're putting up that fight, but it's how you finish. And VP, they've been on the opposite end. They've gotten close to falling, but then they always clean it up just like that. Do we think they'll do it again? Actually, okay, right now on the spot, who's going to be winning it?
But on the spot right now?
On the spot right now.
Oh, that's really tough. I mean, I'm going to have to go. I like winning my predictions. You already know this, Cozy. I mean, hold on. Let's not look back at the stage 2 prediction real quick. But, so you saw, I'm going to go with the team that is the most I do want OCE to win. Just talent-wise, it's got to be VP with the way that they're currently playing. But it depends on what this next corner fight is going to look like. Because when it comes to these type of maps, I do think this map is a little bit easier to get the payload to the finish line once you get beyond that second checkpoint. That is going to be the hard part, though, if you're ChopperMag. And then when they have to come out of the gates, can they get past that point? Yeah,
it's right there on the downhill slope, and that's what Finzi did so well. He just pushed up, didn't allow any time to breathe there. And good point. You know, as you see, we're obviously both from America, and so it's like, what teams are going? For me, I love seeing the regions that are a bit more unknown, right? The eyes a lot are on America and EMEA, so it's so cool to see OCE and what we've seen from Rejects kind of stand out. Obviously, you know, we want to see VP and what they're able to do for EMEA. A lot of talent over there, but it's surprised me now because the scrims, the pools, and what they're able to play is just a lot different in different regions, and we're seeing that not matter. They found 3 regions and put them together. It's like a transformer that they've made of chaos.
And it's crazier too because when you have to forcibly scrim, right, and you're from the OCE region, you're looking at the other talent that's going to make their way here over to LAN, you are inevitably playing on ping, right? So then that's what LAN is for. It's the way you have a lot more competition with less interferences here, Cozy.
Yeah, absolutely, y'all. As everyone's going to get kind of reload to get ready, you know, we just had that huge Agamotto. We're going to go ahead and take just a quick break, and then we'll be right back to the action, folks. And folks, we are back quicker than you could say Agamotto now as we find ourselves back into this thing with 3 minutes, 13 seconds left yet again. And we stopped right where the action was at the highest climax now as Bobo is going to be that legend he continues to be. The mixtape is on and the pistols are out now. Trying to push this team back and slow things down for ChopperMag. Now taking a look at what they do have available in the bin. They're going to get Pethig out early, which is massive. I think the passive still is not available, though, or not to use it either way now. Fidel going to be forced to get the show up to get this team a little bit of breathing room.
But now at the same time, you have the Dance of the Butterflies that after Fidel had used up the fate of both worlds, and this is the opportunity Skittles use the It's Jeff and gets shut down. That could have been huge if they maybe had a mag or maybe a shield to protect that Jeffy, but then that would have used up so much of that utility as Pethig. He had tried to stay alive over to the other side. He sneakily pulls off the Karma Rival.
Yeah, but is he close enough to get some of these back, right, as the Devil's being let out? And he does get Bobo into things as the Devil being let out. Going to find Pethig, the very admission of the Rise there. Just like that, another cleanup. This is going to spell disaster now for ChopperMag. They used so much to try to stay alive early. Would have liked a bit more of a reset from them.
Forced out. Their hand was forced here when you got to worry about Fine letting the Devil out Sparker with the Dance of the Butterfly, which, by the way, look at all the damage output that Sparker's put down just to be able to get another ultimate like in the last fight. That's actually insane.
And look, they're just now making their way easily to the point. Minute 50 seconds, you might as well just call this game, set, and match if they're able to push this fast now. But we do have plenty in the tank. Bobo close. I mean, they just have to stay alive through these last 20 seconds of contention and fighting. It's going to be now Dredro that does find himself the master of stalling. Captain America going to go right off the map, thrown off. Goodbye, Steve Rogers. Have a nice day.
Gets punished for it at the very least. Fidel does have that BRB to bring Skittles right backside. Makes the max stats as a great ult coming out here. Bobo trying to back away. Can't get the follow.
This is the most important fight of the entire tournament at this point for the team, because if they win this, they can take it at least all the way to no seconds left. And there's going to be a very interesting Swallow trying to do a little bit of prediction. Did not go the way they thought. Goodbye, Shark. Back to the scene for you. And this is just now a sustained effort that is not going the right way. But Fidel is going to throw out a little bit of sustain, but gone goes the rocket ult, as we know too well. Duet coming back, though, from that Shark early. Going to be able to freedom charge and paint a little bit of the path to victory. Good job now. Good patience for them. Being able to get right back into it. Pethig getting close to the Legendary. They're not going to have anything to be able to keep themselves alive, so you're going to have to see either an environmental rotation. Bobo, though, doesn't need it. The neutral fight for the Assassin once again.
And now you have less than a minute on the clock here, Cozy. Less than 40 seconds, and Dredro does have the edge. Jeff, you can hear the Doctor Strange portal coming out as they manage to go from both sides here. Look who's waiting in the distance as a Galactic Legend, as you mentioned, goes off. And Dredro with the itch Jeff. Is he going to go over to the left side here, maybe? You have to imagine with everybody grouped up in that side stairwell. Somebody
sweet goodness. Baby Shark, don't delete. What an absolute. I mean, that was like cinematic moment. The portal closes as the Shark goes into the spawn. Absolute beauty there from Dredro. Probably my favorite Jeff ult of the tournament thus far. But hey, right now, they are not, job's not finished, right? ChopperMag able to keep things interesting because the spawn room so close there. Bobo is going to be right there with the Dance of the Butterflies. You got Saipei keeping them up. They've got to find the value here from the damage boost.
And they find Zen's first here too. While now this Sia comes in, VP have the number advantage. You get the Dance of the Butterflies.
No, but then I was just saying that.
Gets off the cleanup. Yeah.
I was like, no, Bobo, you need someone there. Oh, hey, you know what, though? Again, no moral victories in this game. Minute and a half left, though, was looking like they could easily cap it. That would have been game, set, match. At least now, they push it all the way. Can definitely still win it.
If you get past that second checkpoint.
If you can push it all the time.
That second checkpoint specific. I mean, obviously, we've seen teams held back even around that first corner, right, before you get that first checkpoint. But again, in this map, I just feel like that second checkpoint, if you manage to make the space that you need to get through that hilltop area where before you get through that double doors, it could go hard here. But it's going to be difficult looking at what VP is going to bring out.
Vic, that was the most adorable massacre that I've ever seen. Right through the portal. Are you kidding? I mean, just going right into the spot. It was so cinematic. Kevin Feige's like, write that down. Yeah, get that ready for the next movie here. I bet you we see Jeff in the MCU. I'm just saying.
I would love that one, because also Jeff kind of reminds me of my dog. They got the same cute face, and sometimes they're both up to no good. But also something else is that Dredro has always the most cinematic outcomes with these Jeff plays. Like, he's always the one to come up with the craziest play on the Jeff.
And Skittles was going 5-head there with theirs, and then it was more like 0-head. Right? Nothing
Trying
happened
to go for the hardest read. The hardest read. You'd think he's reading a college book.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as we look at the defensive effort from VP, again, we got the triple Vanguard, as you all know, but with the triple strategist, sometimes we get the flex over to a duelist, you know, in that role of what it would be Sparker, but don't make this fool you. This is definitely a very hard comp to get through. Bobo going to the Punisher, love this for them. You know, some teams look at different comps they can roll with. The difference is Zen Star is able to Groot, though, and that helps them push through a bit more. Got the damage boost there from Pethek.
Because then usually you want to get like the wombo combo, right? And that potential is off the table when there is no Bucky able to be played here for both these teams. And instead you see Zen's calling in these group walls, Bobo trying to get the follow-up being on the Punisher instead. Together with VP playing Nevix, you can't really push and pull from the hands of Fidel. And Pethek wants to get this Omega Hurricane online as quickly as possible.
And how easy it is for Jeff to get ult. 88% on one side, 70 on the other, but Saipei being the absolute legend that he is on Sue's Storm, already finding that invisible boundary, can put it aggressive and early to give that team the win, but they're a little bit split up right now. Nope, going right up. Q ready on the dot. He had it hovering the button here, as now it's going to be the response from Skittles. Found nothing last time. This Shark is hungry. Can he find something? It's going to be the thing. This is a good pull, but he's going to quickly go down. Oh, he was able to make it to spawn. That's insane.
He's like, I want to do that too. I want to do it again on the other side. All right. But you also imagine the team up too, that the Invisible Woman and the Thing also provide with that extra less damage that they have to worry about. But Drijo has the edge, Jeff, as he delays it ever so slightly, but on the edge, tries to catch it on the Groots before backing away now to the rest of VP in the backline and to waste that space away from ChopperMag.
But guess what's coming? Jerry, the Bobo is coming shortly with the Agamotto. Going to find one there on Drijo. Gets a good pick to get down early. Sparker's not going to have that. Oh, nope, the res is going to be used. They thought they found that early, but no, it is going to be a huge res out there. Is Bobo coming, though, with bows of the guns. Every single bullet has a name. It's going to be Frank Castle as the author, but no time to find. Oh, forcing out an Agamotto. Oh, no. Detrimental there, trying to stop what was the inevitable. I hated that play, Vic. I'm going to be honest.
That's like the fourth Doctor Strange, like point blank in your face. I'm taking a bunch of damage. I have Agamotto that I've seen, and it's only day 2. But you know what? From a different look this time around, he draws it. It fails here. Finzi follows up right afterwards, meets him back in the spawn.
Maybe it was like, you know what, I'm going to go down. I need to get that portal back anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and go early, right? Maybe that's why, but the Agamotto to boot was interesting, as now we do have the clouds opening up. Pethek looking for a Category 5 Hurricane. We'll see what they find. Saipei does have something to keep it. Oh my, feel the wrath of the shield of Captain America.
That Hurricane dissipated real quickly over the Atlantic, it looks like, as we see the It's Jeff now coming out from Skittles. And he's going to be able to send back his own Steve Rogers, but it is the Magneto that falls victim. As he says, hasta la vista, tries to dip away, but doesn't want to take any more damage because look at the time now. He wants to navigate right back to the back of his back line, it looks like. Send him all the way back. He's got a minute, less than 20 seconds on the clock as the It's Jeff from Drijo now comes in.
Yeah, let's see what Drijo continues to find here. And it's going to be, wow, look at the strange pull there from Nuep, who's now so close to that ult, and they're going to all just team up here with ease, and there's nowhere to go, Vic. Wow, Animal Crossing backline at its finest. Hello, Tom Nook.
Better have that money when it comes to Collector coming up through, and they isolated him. Oh, man, I do not want to be that Doctor Strange. All right, now we got the Punisher, the final judgment coming in together with the Freedom Charge to set them up into place. This is great, too, because they don't have to waste Fidel and that invisible boundary. As the Mag Bubble comes in, it gets bursted, and they get saved from themselves.
Could not find anything from it, and that was the battle you needed to win. They knew Nivix did not have the Meteor Imp to have a little bit of contention there for the judge and jury, and right now it's 36 seconds and counting down, and they used so much on that fight. That was the big commitment here from ChopperMag. Right now, you look at what they have available, it's going to come down to maybe Pethek and a Legendary. They do have Skittles as well, which is going to be okay, because if you look at what VP has, there's not going to be a lot of answer to this Legendary, but there's so much space to hide. They've got to seek them out if they want to try to make this thing interesting.
Time is of the essence, though, now, Cozy. Less than 15 seconds on the clock. And this It's Jeff, by the way, from Drijo, is going to benefit VP if they get them all off the point. The Galactic Legend gets that big pick that you were mentioning, but he got the BRB. He's going to be able to come right back around thanks to Sparker and the placement of that teleport, too. As now he's trying to look around, trying to harass that backline. No more Animal Crossing backline, as we've been noting. And VP down 2 members as Drijo goes for a play off of the It's Jeff.
I love that Pithik just ignored the Magneto completely. He was like, okay, I'm going to go for the rocket here. That was the play to get us. Oh, they do get, look at that mag bubble. Absolute perfection there as they continue to tick it away. But Zenstari going to be able to help the team get the point. And even though VP put up an insane defensive effort, they used the 2 ults that mattered. And they got the pick with the Star-Lord. That's what I was looking for. No rotation happened there. And here we go. We got things, this is going to be good. 2 minutes left.
Good looks here, and that's why you're seeing them already move all the way up, so that way they can create some of that space, but they also want to have More momentum off this cart too. You look on the other side and we're already seeing some swap-ups too, Cozy. Nevix on that Angela. The Daredevil is out to himself. While Drijo did use the Itch Jeff at the very end of that last fight, we know that Jeff has no issue boosting up that ultimate just as quickly.
Yeah, ChopperMag almost looks like they have the defensive comp here more, but no, it's going to be the aggression that has been the definition of this VP. You look them up, and it is absolute aggro. What they've got going for the Devil going to be let out here shortly. Agamotto opening up. He found himself Nivix and the split of Daredevil. Both of them going down just like that. Saipei, though, going to bring back 5.
Yeah, you only have one, right? You only have one respawn beacon, so you can only bring back one together. He lets the Devil out, and Sparker wants to deal more than enough damage with the invisible boundary. Talk about the timing that forces Sparker to back away.
That was perfect, too, and Bobo able to rotate, not go down either. Minute and 20 seconds, though. I mean, this is going to go to overtime, right? There's going to be at least 2 more fights that they're going to have to go through here. So you can't use everything, and Bobo knows that, but Bobo getting pressure early. The Amplifier is going to be able to keep him up with ease. Skittles does rise his Magneto. Eric in the fight, but Bobo going down does obviously have the passive. This is where you got to use the Karmic Revival, and now it's kind of, this is going to be tough from here.
It's the Itch Jeff also coming out from Drijo, and it's once again finding Fidel. Born again, though, rings back around, and Bobo in the positioning brings back Skittles at the very least, but are the rest of the members even in the line of sight?
Yeah, VP had the popcorn out as you see the board again. They're watching Bobo like, okay, finish, yep. Great, you're done, you're done. So we've got ourselves the last reset, the last fight, 38 seconds, and falling. Nivix going to have Heaven Falls, and if you look on the other side of things, not a lot. Legendary is all they needed last time, but they don't have the sustain effort. And if you look on this side of things, listen, this is going to be the neutral fight to win it. We'll see if Pythic can get things open up for the team. Look at the Daredevil hanging.
He's waiting to jump down. The Galactic Legend comes in and he immediately gets targeted, but you have to look at your backline. You will not have sustainability if the Vanguard lineup of VP is terrorizing your strategist.
Absolutely, Captain Freedom gets it done, and they are unable to even get things rolling. The portal coming out, there's 2 seconds. The story of ChopperMag getting the victory will have to wait for now as VP dominates there. 3-1. That was an absolute series, Vicky. And once again, same story for VP. Bin, don't break. You can show cracks as long as you don't fall. They found the weaknesses that they needed to, and they got the job done.
Took it home here, Cozy, but a great performance from ChopperMag. I mean, even when it was down to the wire right there, a few seconds away from pulling up that Doctor Strange portal, he still gets interrupted by the Angela at the hands of Nevix. Finzi, too, when it mattered the most, was able to make every last second count in benefit for them.
But this is the issue when you have a round robin like that. You need upsets if you're ChopperMag, because these wins, you get something on VP, right? You did not count that as your 4 games that you were going to win, right? To be able to succeed and go to that next stage. That's the issue. If you win that, then you can clean up from there, right? 3 wins almost gets you there. 4 is going to guarantee